Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever pilot episode of the You Got a Minute Fam podcast. If that rings a bell, you must be a member of IB Sports. And so what we're going to try to do with this podcast is integrate group culture with the sports world and make it as unique as a group. I am joined by my co-host, El Vice Presidente, the Mike Pence, Kamala Harris won't visit the border star scream of the group, actively lazy.
You know what? I'm not even going to be upset about that anymore because the most disrespectful thing is that we took Corey's slogan and made it a show and don't even have Corey as a part of the show. So I'll be the vice president as long as you have to answer to that.
Well, he's my brother, and he's one of the financial backers of IBS and IBN.
It's this man's slogan that he brought to the group. I don't know whose slogan it was before that, but nobody said it in the group until he said it, and then we make a show out of it, and we don't even
How about
let him
this?
speak on the show. That is.
If you say it in the group, it's mine. I learned it from the Salt Man. Colonize this shit.
Hey, you the boss, bro. Don't find me.
At least he's my brother. At least I didn't do it to Sam. Well, I wouldn't take anything from Sam, but at least it's my brother.
Sam would take it from you for sure.
Yeah. Sam and Ashley definitely. They might take it from me. Let's start out the show with the biggest thing in the group, as always: the fines. I'm fining LeBron James $400,000 for not going away. Bro, you lost. You walked off the court before the game is over. I know you got Space Jam 2, so you're already going to go on a media tour anyway, and we just got the trailer, but you had to do the Maximus clip from Gladiator talking about you would have your vengeance in this life or the next. And you had to have the news in the middle of a playoff game, by the way, that you were changing your number from 23 to 6. LeBron, just go away, bro.
Bruh. And what life for the next? You ain't got no other lives. You're 37. This it. Ain't no other lives. You shouldn't be allowed to change your number this late in your career. For what? It's so ridiculous that this man is such a supreme athlete at the top of his sport and still does this attention-seeking things, man. We don't care. We don't care if it's 23, if it's 6. Just keep it the same. What's the difference, man?
I don't understand. I thought he was going to do that originally when he and Davis had the same number, but then they were saying the league had already did enough jerseys, so many jerseys, they couldn't do the switch. But I don't even think Davis is going to switch to 23 either. So he's definitely doing this for marketing purposes or whatever the hell he's doing it for.
That man, Davis needs to get a shirt that says 911.
Mr. Glass.
Can he get a triple digit? Come on, man. Anthony Davis ain't on the court long enough to freaking do anything. Frail body, which unfortunately was done in by Anthony Street Clothes Davis.
Yeah. Barkley. I like frail body, but Street Clothes is tough, and it's Barkley too. He got a bigger platform. We still can go by frail body in the group, but I fought for Anthony. But at least he got a ring out of it. If he's only healthy every other year, you can get close to a ring. I take it. Now, if he's hurt again next year.
Hold up. I got too much respect for you to have you out here counting that bullshit. Don't you do it.
A ring is a ring, bro. I don't care. It counts.
The bubble is even close to what it was in the bubble, outside the bubble. Name me one thing, one player, one thing other than, all right, I'll give you one. Donovan Mitchell. Outside of that, everybody else is still trash. Before they went in, they was good when they got in.
I do have one. The Phoenix Suns, baby.
Phoenix Suns.
8-0 in the bubble.
It's a different team. It's a different
team.
They
were 8-0 with the core of this team. They added Chris Paul. That's what makes it scary.
Did they make the playoffs? Did they make the playoffs?
No, and they were 8-0, but they were dominating the bubble. What's his face ain't dominated. Who would have had the guy that was going off? And they were talking about bubble. Who was it?
Oh my God! You talking about?
Wasn't that C.J. Warren? T.J. Warren?
T.J. Warren. Yeah, he went to the Pacers. He was on the Pacers. But he had come from Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
In the bubble, he was on Phoenix. I think.
That meme was so accurate. I knew the bubble was full of it when T.J. Warren was prime Kobe in there. You
yeah,
right.
something was wrong. Something was wrong. I mean, I try to respect the title, except for like pre-segregation titles in any sport. But whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna die on this Anthony Davis hill. Tell me who you find in this week.
You already know I don't respect anything done before integration as far as sports go, and I damn sure don't respect this bubble. So nope.
Mickey Mouse in my Chase Howell's voice.
I'm not as bad as Chase, but yeah, I'm
or Jay Holla.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird what's happening to Jay Holla and John to a lesser degree, but Jay is a lifelong Lakers fan and he finds himself rooting against. I wonder what was going to win. His hatred of Bron is bigger than his Laker fandom, which is funny. It's beautiful to watch.
At least he's true to himself. I would expect that.
He has been true to himself. I never expected him to root for Bron, but at least I expect him to say, look what we did for him and we brought him to relevance and all that. But he just really actively roots against them. Give me your fine.
My fine was Cody Powell for suggesting that two men in their mid-50s should sell more in a fight that's not made in Hollywood. This was like real life grudge match. He said that Roy Jones and Mike Tyson in their 50s should have sold more pay-per-views than Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. And I find him because, again, like I said in the fine, it doesn't fit the business model for them to sell more pay-per-views when everybody was advertising and promoting for Floyd and Logan, including Viacom, CBS, Showtime, ESPN, and I mean Fox, all of them. Everybody was doing it. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, every platform, everywhere. They were doing interviews. They were like live streaming their training and all kind of publicity that goes into promotion to boost them. And they barely made 1 million pay-per-view buys, and Roy Jones and Tyson did, I think, 1.6. So, before the fight, people were very bullish on the fight making like so much money, maybe being the all-time most watched pay-per-view in the history. I don't know why, but apparently it was supposed to be around 3 to 4 million, and they got 1. So it was a flop. I know a lot of people don't think it was, but it was. And I find him for saying that those two old men should have sold more.
And the thing, too, is that not only are they two old men, but they're from a certain time period where if you're not our age, and I'm including you because you're still late 30s, so our age and older,
I'm mid-30s.
You don't care about what?
I'm mid-30s.
How old are you?
I'm about to be late 30s.
Yeah, close
3
enough.
months.
30. I'll take it. Whatever. Mid-30s. But if you're not our age still or older, you don't care about Roy Jones or Mike Tyson. You haven't seen them in their primes. So, and it's funny, too, about this fight. Like, you got the king of the old media, which with old sports media, that's how Floyd knows how to play it. And you got the king of new media with the social media and YouTube and all that. My son, for the first time in his whole life, texted me about a fight. Now, it was disgusting because he thought Logan Paul was going to win, but he got a bootleg stream of the fight and he watched it for the first time in his life, unless I was sitting right there. So it did spark interest. And so you would expect that fight to do better than a nostalgia act of Roy and Mike. And the funny thing is, you shouldn't expect much from either fight, but the funny thing in the end is that Roy and Paul had the same strategy of just holding and dancing all night because they were scared of what the other person could do.
Man, I don't know what. Well, you know what? I'll wait to the end of the show. I'll wait.
All right, good. I know. I'm gonna set it up on a tee for you to do your boxing rant. All right. So my other find was Skylar King. I like Skylar King. He's a professional, or I guess you could say he's an amateur professional. I don't know if he's getting paid.
Hey man, respect my boy. He's a pro now.
He's a pro. All right, I don't disrespect. I didn't know, but I respect the craft. I respect all this. Skylar King on Toss Up Tuesday. I said Simone Biles. Who's the female GOAT? Simone Biles or Serena Williams? Now I was really baiting the Serena fans because I can't stand the little Serena fans, but he brought up a female boxer who is going to MMA soon. But the point they always miss, and I'm going to do my black hand clap. Toss Up Tuesday. Toss Up Tuesday. A toss up is between two things. This is a show. This is a segment of a show. You don't take something off the menu. I'm giving you a menu. If I give you a menu at a restaurant, don't ask me for stuff that's not on the menu. It's a reason why I'm doing it, to start dialogue, so everything is not the same in the group. And after 7 years, you get fucking tired of people not being able to follow simple directions.
Hey, look, man. Skylar King, my boy, I think you overreacted, but I mean, he can't help it. That's what white people do, bro. That's what they do. They
can't help the boundaries.
They can't help it, man. And if you think it's not a white thing, I got a couple scenarios we could test it out. If you want, DM me and we'll link up, and I will give you a couple scenarios where we can stream it and test it out as to why do white people think that no matter what, they don't have to follow the rules. It don't apply to them. Like just add something. If the rules say 2, now I want 3. No, it says 2, but I want 3, and I'm going to get it. Damn it! See, that's exactly how it goes. And I don't understand why. So I will go out on a limb and say though, Skylar is in my top 5 favorite white people in the group. So I will cop a plea for Skylar. I support you, my brother. I hope you come back. Actually, I think you said you didn't even mute him.
Yeah, I muted him. I said a week, and I was mad because he kept fighting it. And then he was like, "That's dumb." Like, no, you can't read. But anyway, I also want to say Skylar's a girl's name, and this is Daniel LeClaire. I'm just Daniel LeClaire. I'm here just doing a little guest host segment on this, sir. So if you got a problem with you having a girl named Skylar, this is Daniel LeClaire. All right, thank you, Daniel. You go ahead back in the back and do your thing.
If you on that sauce, man.
Our last find is
this gonna be public?
What?
Is this public?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, ignore that part, y'all.
Yeah, right. Last find. Keith Fleming, you've been at war with Mr. Keith since last round, since the podcast that you guys do today, that you guys do together, rather, by the way. But Keith, you came up, and I hate to do it to a fellow admin, but you cannot whine about calls. It is $700,000 is unseemly. Score more points. When fans do that, they never look at the whole picture. They only look at how it affected their team, not all the things that they get away with, much less Trae Young being one of the biggest floppers in the whole league.
Yeah, and like I told you, he never had his car, actually. This was never a competition. He was the only person that thought that the Hawks should watch out for the Hawks, is what he said. And I have to go back and listen to the clip again, but I'm pretty sure I laughed at him on the clip too. It was like, watch out for what? Yeah. And sure enough, when they were up 20, he was letting the world hear, making posts, and now reality is hit. And like I said, this is I hate that it had to be you segment. I hate that it had to be Keith complaining about the refs, because you will get no sympathy in this group complaining about the refs. You will get no sympathy from me if you're not gambling and complaining about the refs, because honestly, there's a reason why they call it playoff basketball. They don't call it the same, and everybody knows that, and it's literally promoted as playoff basketball and implied that you're not going to get the same calls you got during the regular season. And I believe that the Hawks, primarily for the 8 games that they've played so far, have been a jump shooting team. So it makes sense that they're not getting to the free throw line. You got to attack the basket to at least get calls. People don't foul shooters.
And you're not getting Embiid kicked out of a playoff game or fouling out, probably maybe one playoff game in the whole thing. But you're not gonna. That's just not gonna happen. That's how the playoffs work. If you weren't ready for that, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it is what it is. I mean, even if Embiid went away, they still probably would win. It'd just be embarrassing. They play small ball and still beat them because they're the better team.
Shake your Milton.
Simmons can go to the 5, and who gonna stop him?
Yeah,
he's still gonna get to the cup. Still gonna distribute the basketball. They lose their second best 3-point shooter if Embiid goes down, and their best rebounder. And the scoring they can just make up with, at least for a game, between Shake, Tobias, and pretty much a squadron of other people. Right. Like you just saw in the last game, they had my boy come off the bench. I don't even know his name. Just some random white dude dropping buckets. It's like, yo, who really thinks that the Hawks stood a chance? They never did. You never had your car, Keith.
Sorry, Keith. All right, moving on to the post of the week. This guy I really like, Dante Bry, I guess it is. I've never said his name out loud. A lot of these people's names I've never said out loud in their last name, so it'll be interesting. But Dante Bry, real thoughtful, long. I like long in the group if it's thoughtful, but it also wasn't like a novel like my boy Noam, who I like, Assalamu alaikum. What is it? That's Muslim, but I don't know what they say in Israel. TikTok, brother. But he said this. He said, sorry for the long post, but it needs to be said. And Keith has some long posts that kind of ramble too. But long can be good if it's done strategically. Giannis is 26 years old. I know it's trendy to pile on superstars and MVPs who don't win titles right out of the gate. But just remember how hard it is to win in the NBA. Giannis is fine. Again, he's 26 years old. LeBron, MJ, Shaq, KD, Curry, Dirk, Hakeem, and KG, and numerous others were all ringless at this point in their careers. We want superstars to take the hard knock road to winning titles with their teams, notably like MJ, who didn't win until he was 27, but then we denigrate superstars for not winning right away. Either we appreciate Giannis for sticking with the Bucks and being willing to go through it the hard way, or we want stars to jump ship at the first sign of adversity to make super teams. Can't have it both ways. Do you respect the journey/process or not? Oftentimes it's ugly, but I thought that's what we appreciated most.
Hey, again.
And he got 22 likes.
No, 22 likes, all probably from Joe Matz and 21 other Joe Matzes. We don't talk like that in this group, Dante. We don't. And when I say we, I mean brothers. We don't talk like that. If you want to talk like that, you keep that shit in the ringer. Don't you bring that back to IBN. Secondly, Dante, I don't think you really Dante. I think you just Joe Matz in virtual blackface, and I am going to need some proof. So we're gonna have to get him live. I heard he got a podcast or something. I never.
He does have a pod. I was on it.
All right. I need to see this cat live, man. Make sure he's not Joe. I've seen Joe Matz in video. But I highly doubt that any brother in this group is using words like that unless it's you. And even then, I question when you do it. Why are you talking like that, man?
I'm sorry.
We don't talk like we don't do that here. We don't do that here. There we go. We got another segment.
Yeah, I'm trying to raise the bar. I failed to raise the vocabulary bar for 7 years, so in some way I give up. Sometimes I used to never talk slang, but now I talk a little bit more slang because it's funny and it works better. Nickel dialect is funnier than the King's English, so sometimes I'll drop into that. But I literally think about it every time before I post it, which is kind of funny. It's like, I don't like that, but you gotta win in Rome or win in the hood. You gotta do what you got to do. But we had some interesting posts on there or comments on there for the serious thing. Jordan Box said no, and he LOL. Giannis has won back-to-back MVPs and been the first seed multiple years. Also been to an Eastern Conference Finals already. He's due to take that next step, especially with most of the losses being him fizzling out during those eliminations, which I thought was a good point.
I mean, he definitely got more questions than answers for a two-time MVP. I think Steph won MVP 2 times, and people had some questions.
He at least won one title, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say he at least won one title without like a supreme supporting cast. I know people try to give Clay that Scottie Pippen was the best player in the league boost, but at the time that he won his first championship, nobody thought that they were going to win, and they were, I know Kevin Love and Kyrie went down, but either way, they were still considered underdogs, and so he earned that. But the thing about Steph is his game even still has evolved, and he's shown that he is not afraid of the moment. I don't know if I've seen a MVP so vulnerable in the clutch, man. Like, whether it's free throws or just playing defense on somebody. Hell, even Steph tries to play defense on people, hitting shots, like just anything. It's just like, dude. And like I said to you off the record, and I'll say it again, I know it sounds ridiculous to say this, but I question if Giannis actually knows how to play basketball with his ability, like actually knows how to play, because there are times where I watch him play and he's doing things that are counter to what is in his best interest as a player. Like settling for jump shots, shooting that ugly ass 3-point shot when literally nobody can stop him from getting to the basket. And I don't care if you do it 100 times. If you score on 98 of those 100 times, you keep doing it, man. And he can get fouled and get in ones, even though he's gonna miss the free throws.
But that's part of it. He's scared to get fouled. He's scared to get fouled. Part of it.
It takes him 30 seconds to shoot it anyway. You should figure.
There's no excuse not to be able to hit free throws.
You need to figure that out, man.
It's no excuse not to be able to hit free throws. I know maybe the jumper is a work in progress, but free throws is just effort. The amount of times you practice. If you shoot 500 free throws a day, you're going to become a better free throw shooter. There's no way. You just got to do it. Shaq used to say he shoot 50 free throws a day, and he's wondering why he didn't. I was like, man, I'm 13. I shoot 100 a day. Like, he's wondering why he didn't improve. Some things are obvious. Like the free throws, that's something that can be easily corrected. I think with Giannis, a lot of times he's not allowed to get easy baskets. He's either gotta, or all of his baskets have to come through like him using his amazing athleticism in the transition, or like that viral clip where they say he ain't got no bag. Like, why is a 7 foot, 230, 240 guy dribbling at the top of the key and trying to out juke somebody? Give this man the ball on the run some screens, run some pick and rolls, maybe where he's the screener, he gets the ball. Create opportunities for him to go downhill besides just doing ISOs. Post him up, do some flex cuts, do some other kind of cuts. There are lots of things. Set up some alley-oops. Sometimes just have him in the role where he's in the dunker spot. But just don't make it so hard. He wasn't meant to stand at the top of the key and penetrate to the lane. He can, but he wasn't meant to do that.
Yeah, he can do things. He can shoot and make a shot. It's just not going to happen but maybe 25-30% of the time. Or he can take his big ass to the basket and get that 50-60% of the time. I don't know what to tell him, man. I don't know. All I know is any criticism coming at Giannis, I know I don't play this role in the group, and I'm pretty sure if Corey even makes it this far into the podcast, he'll have something to say. But it's true. It's warranted. If you are critical of him to some degree, it is warranted. I understand that. Even though I defend him on a lot of occasions, I can understand where it's coming from. And, I mean, I don't think anybody – I think he knows that he has to improve. I just wonder if he knows how he can improve.
Yeah, and I don't know. And it might take another coach, but it looks like they caught a break. I hate to say it like that, no pun intended, with Kyrie getting hurt. If they can't win this series with no Kyrie and no Harden, he deserves every single bit of criticism he gets for the rest of his life.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because, I mean, when Kyrie went down, man, I was just like, it's over. I even texted that to you. I said, well, it's over now. Unless he can come back, it's over. And, I mean, even if Harden comes back, he's not going to be 100%. Those soft tissue hamstring injuries, man, they don't heal that quickly. And you would think, like, at any point when he has to make some kind of lateral move, drive into the basket or something, it's going to tweak it. So I feel like an ankle injury, depending on the severity of it, you can come back from those within a day or two. But those soft tissue injuries, I don't know, man. That makes me nervous to think that he might have to depend on Harden to carry some more of the load.
Moving on, we had Daniel LeClaire doing good work. There was my comment of the week, and I don't know if you got one, but that's okay if you don't. But my comment of the week, Scottie Pippen is writing this book, and he's talking about how he's the true leader of the Bulls. It's his response to The Last Dance, which I really didn't think made Scottie Pippen look that bad. It made Scottie Pippen look like Scottie Pippen, and it was the truth. But our boy Daniel said, why didn't he have this energy when Larissa Pippen was doing her thing? And I thought it got 12 likes. I thought that was hilarious. Daniel coming in with the big one. Scottie definitely didn't have this energy for his wife, ex-wife, or whatever, baby mama, when she's doing all her stuff.
Yeah, man, it's not a good look for Scottie, bro. Like, he's actually believing the shit that people were saying. Like, Scottie Pippen was one of the best players in the league.
They hyped him up.
Yeah, man. Like, Scotty getting hyped up to get smacked upside the head, man. He's probably the only person that Jordan truly respects, man. Like,
I know, right? He was never the second best player in the league.
Yeah,
but he was very good.
He's the second best player on the team.
Yeah,
but not the league. And to have him act like this is just ridiculous to me, especially this late in his life.
Right.
Like how many people would love to be Scottie Pippen?
Exactly.
You think Charles Barkley wouldn't trade in his all these jokes that he hears?
He definitely would.
Winning a championship to be the Scottie Pippen? Like what?
Yeah.
Dude,
there's a big difference between being Scottie Pippen and Will Perdue, or Scottie Pippen and Scalabrine. Like, it's one thing, or even Ori. Scottie Pippen was a star and like the greatest Robin of all time. Like, there's nothing wrong. There's no shame in being a Robin if you save Gotham. You know,
it's Jordan and Pippen.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And Robin. Like, what more do you want, bro? It can't be Pippen and Jordan or Robin and Batman. That's just how it is. And okay, but you're still getting the same amount of credit though, based on your role in what this was. Everybody says Jordan wouldn't have been Jordan or wouldn't have won as many championships as he won without Pippen. Pippen hears that and thinks that's disrespect.
Yeah, right?
What
right? That's a great thing.
Disrespect is what your girl did to you. That's not disrespect.
And it's
man.
like Bill Russell, all those championships, and nobody brings up a sidekick, even though like the Jones, like Sam Jones, and there's another Jones that won like 8 or 9 of them with him. There are guys that won 9 titles or 8 titles or 7 titles with Bill Russell, and none of them are looked at as a sidekick. Like, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to get the credit that Pippen gets.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. Like, but whatever, y'all. I mean, he gonna make this book. I'm sure people gonna talk about it and everything. I truly hope Jordan continues to do what Jordan does and stay out the limelight, not respond to this type of stuff, man. I mean, Jordan rarely comments on anything about his career, man, and I've always respected that about him. You got guys like Mayweather. Whenever you talk to them, you hear them talk. All they talk about is themselves and what they did, yada yada yada. And there are other greats who the first thing that comes out their mouth is Jordan rarely.
It speaks for itself. That's the thing about his career. It speaks for itself.
Rarely brings that up. You know, he rarely talks about anything unless he's in a situation like even on the documentary, he was like, I didn't have to do this, and I don't normally do this, but I felt like it needed to be said. So I got respect for him, man, and I hope he does not go back and forth with Scottie Pippen, man. I don't know who hurt Scottie. It might be Larissa. Whatever her name is. It might be her, but Jordan ain't do it. For sure, he ain't do it. So well, I look forward to hearing what his version of the story is.
And not like he hasn't had a chance to give it in all these years. But did you have a comment of the week, or did these losers not have anything good enough for you to
I have a comment of the week. Y'all bums.
I know, you gotta do better. Daniel was the only one. PAB of the week, I feel, and it is punk ass, it's not pussy ass. We are not savages, people. We are like on the line of that. But it feels a little weird to even say it, but I'm still gonna bring it back a little bit. But the culture is so much different from when I named Wallace the PAB. But I don't know if it's Kevin Durant. I know your boy Corey Cooning is trying to cape for Prince George County. I don't know if it's Durant or it's the bodyguard. But I've been watching basketball since I was 7 or 8 years old. I'm now 42. I have never seen team security or personal security come on the court for a fake ass basketball fight, even when they needed to.
I'm still trying to figure out where he come from, bro. Why was he close enough to even do that? I am so confused. Maybe he was guarding the bench. They use him to guard the bench. I don't know. My only explanation, logically, in my mind, was that fans have been acting crazy since COVID restrictions eased, and maybe they felt it necessary to have security closer in case somebody threw something or whatever. But like I said to Hurt, I've done some security detail, man, and I've guarded assets as high as some politicians like that we have in our state, and then some B-list rappers, etc. If somebody is the example I gave to somebody out the group, if my client or the asset is a professional fighter or competing in some kind of activity, and something happens that's within the scope of that activity, you're not allowed to interfere. So if PJ Tucker pushed him on the ground or something like that, you're not allowed to come out there, man. You can't do that. And for him to just act that way, I don't know what in the world he was thinking, man. I honestly don't know. But like I told him, if it was the place I worked at, in my earpiece, they would have been like, "You're fired immediately." Like it wouldn't have been nothing said. If you would have just heard my boss tell me I was fired, and I would have to turn that earpiece in. I'm done for the day, for good. But you know, I'm glad it didn't escalate any worse because, like I pointed out to Hurt, if you look at the clip, the security guard made it more violent.
A lot worse. Yep.
Yeah, like,
and they're like, "Who is this? What is going on?"
Like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, you know, he see him in the all black and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure his first thought was that it was a fan himself. He was like, "What?" And he ready to throw punches now. At first, it was just two dudes drawing, which we see all the time, and he come over there pushing people and stuff. Man, he out of his mind.
And now we got a little segment here. I think Chase is the one that actually discovered this originally, but the bump. And the thing I wanted to bump is Corey, so much slander. And even though Jason Tatum is gone, Corey has slandered this man for so long, since college, despite the vast improvements that Jason Tatum has made. But he did this post on, I guess this was August 3rd of 2020. Healthy Michael Porter Jr., probably during the bubble, is what people swear Jason Tatum is. I don't know if anybody's watching, but Michael Porter Jr. hasn't been playing that well. He might be doing something finally today. They're down 3-0, but his last game, he was 5 for 13 for 15 points. And it's just not looking like there's no comparison to Jason Tatum. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he might have to bite this one, man. He might have to take this L. That's tough. And you know what? I will say I took my L because I said that Fultz should have been the first pick for Tatum or whatever. You know what? And I had to admit, Danny Ainge. That's probably worse than when Wallace corrected me on the Titletown thing.
I don't know. Titletown's bad.
Nah. Having Danny Ainge get one over on me is pretty bad, man. That's pretty low.
That's true too. That's true too.
His
use the injury excuse. You got injuries.
He shoots, man. He shoots and completely misses and whiffs on pretty much everything. But Tatum over Fultz was the right call, man, and I give it to him. But Michael Porter's got like all the signs that lets me know that, you know, in like 3 years we're probably going to be like, man, he could have been so good if. It's bad, man.
We had a good toss-up Tuesday question. We had Simone Biles and Serena Williams. Part of the problem of this kind of debate is that none of us really watch these sports that closely, but we just have a general understanding of it. I think what I've seen in a short period of time is the dominance of Simone Biles to the point where she's doing things that the men do. She's doing things that no women have done before. And I want to raise awareness. I don't know if I really think, I'm a hater on Serena and her fans. I don't know if I really think Simone Biles is the GOAT, but I do think Serena, and you don't have to pit them against each other, but this is sports, so that's part of it. But Serena takes a lot of the air out of the room, and Biles should definitely be in the conversation.
No, I agree, man. And you know, I'm confused as to why people act like they're not male equivalent sports that we don't talk about, that we still give those athletes their props. I mean, nobody watches track and field until the Olympics primarily. I mean, I did track through shot put and discus, and I'm interested in the sport, and even I wait until the Pan Am Games and things like that. Like, I'm not following it religiously, and it's the same for swimming. It's the same for skiing and bobsledding, all these other sports, and gymnastics too, for the most part, you know. But for some reason, Simone is one of the best and most decorated athletes of all time. Like, she's got plenty of clout internationally and domestically. Like, you should respect it. Like, I don't understand. You know, I've always had this complaint about our group. Our group doesn't respect the athlete, like respect the feat, you know?
Yeah.
It's like people are critical to the point where it's like, you know, they think they can do it. And like, come on, man. Like, if you're the 1 in 1 million to do this one particular thing, or you're the first to ever do this one particular thing, you should get your props, whether people like it or not. They had, what did Gregory say? They had the damn hot dog eating contest up there. You know, like, what in the world, man? So hot dog eating contest, you big up that guy every year, actually.
Yeah, right.
I think Tobiyashi was the Japanese dude. Like, I know his name. They did a 30 for 30 for that shit, yo. A 30 for 30, and we can't get a tweet from my girl? Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
I think part of it was Jamel Hill did an article or said something. So if Jamel does it, that automatically triggers certain people.
Yeah, I understand. I get it too, and we've covered this on our little political podcast. It's hard for some people to separate that, but I don't care who the source is. Hell, I find myself sometimes agreeing with Fat Man Scoop. What's his name? Your boy that went to Fox, Outkid.
Whitlock?
Yeah, Whitlock. Whitlock actually had a tweet that I agreed with.
Oh, Lord.
He said, I don't know if Shaq has walked back on this comment or not, but I think he owes Donovan Mitchell an apology. I agree. You know, and for some people, it's hard for them to separate the messenger.
Yeah,
and the
most
message.
people.
But like, shoot, it makes sense. Like, you know, she got a point. He got a point. Jamil had a point. She really did. And I got a little heated for multiple reasons, but part of it was that I felt like there was some disrespect given to an accomplished athlete. And as a true sports fan, I'm always going to fight that. I don't think people should act like that when it comes to like real accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect the accomplishment.
Yep.
And now this is the moment you've been waiting for. I hate it here. I said that, hey, look, it's not my cup of tea, but it's the new school. It's got my son interested in it. I listened to Bill Simmons. It's got his kid interested in it. It's the new generation, and Floyd and Logan Paul are capitalizing on it. And purists are always going to cry about how things change, but things keep on changing. But you can 3, 2, 1, go.
Bro, well, we're not going to do changes. There was a fucking pay-per-view for YouTubers versus TikTokers. These people are not fighters. Don't call this shit boxing. Don't call it boxing. It's not boxing, man. It's not boxing just because Floyd got in a ring. You can get a rectangular ring, and you can put Floyd Mayweather in, and if he's fighting me, it's not a boxing match. It's not. Because I'm not a boxer.
Well, they did call it exhibition.
It's not a boxer. Jake
fairness.
Paul is not a boxer. He fought fucking Nate Robinson. That's not boxing. Stop calling it that. It bothers me, man. And people be like, well, you know, you can't get a fair shake in boxing. They don't even have a real ref, really. They don't have scorecards. Like, this isn't boxing. It's not sanctioned. These people ain't really fighting to hurt anybody. And then I have one guy, bless his heart, I think it was Jay Martin, who was saying, literally comparing it to other fights. It makes my mind bleed that people would think that this is comparable to when Canelo had his last fight. I truly pray that one of these dumbasses gets in Canelo's face. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but one of the TikTokers smacked Paulie Malignaggi on the back of the neck with some powder or something like that.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so, and everybody's, laughing about it, and they're like, oh, Paulie getting punked out the ring, this and that. Paulie Malignaggi is the joke in boxing. He's pillow-fisted. He can't hurt anybody. But I bet you he can hurt a random teenager. Please smack Canelo on the back of his neck and see what happens, yo. Please. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing it now, man. These kids and these people who act are really overstepping their boundaries, bro. Canelo made a tweet about a Mexican's soccer outcome. He made the little emoji with the face palm, and Logan Paul or Jake Paul thought it was about him and the pay-per-view, and he said something like, "I beat your ass" or something like that. A lot of these dudes don't play we know, bro. Imagine if this was Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe, those guys back in the day. They were crazy. Some of these boxers are really crazy. And they can't turn it off when they're outside the ring. And these YouTubers and TikTokers are doing this shit for likes. Somebody's going to get hurt, bro. Somebody's going to get hurt. Ain't everybody pulling punches. And Floyd popped old boy and held him up. And he trying to... yes, he did, bro. He hurt you. Your legs went limp. We all know what it looks like. But yeah, please call it something else, entertainment, whatever you want. Do not call this shit boxing. Do not. That's why I hate it here.
My video, I can't decide, but I put this video or meme of the week. I'll say one real quick. I thought it was a really funny one that I saw. It was kind of the passing of the torch. They were knighting. It was Pandemic P or Playoff P, Pandemic P, Paul Pierce, and like a white guy king knighting a knight who ended up being Christoph Porzingis and giving him the Playoff P nickname. I thought that was hilarious. And then I thought the video of the week was Giannis having no bag, just dribbling in circles against Blake Griffin, and then even backing up to the 3-point line and driving hard only to get blocked. I thought it was just said everything we need to know about how frustrating Giannis is in the playoffs. Even though, hey, they're 2-2 and he had 30 points both games in a row at home.
Yeah, I'm trying to calm down after my last rant, man. I really am. Maybe we should do a celebrity boxing thing, man. Like, I'm gonna get some random dude. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get Kevin Nicholas to fight Skylar King and see if we can get some likes on that. Hey, look, I don't know if this counts because it's Sunday to Sunday, but this, I don't know if I got this meme from one of our other groups or what, but there's a meme where it says "Never shooting my shot again," and it's somebody in a girl's DMs, and it's a basketball, and he says, hi, my ball rolled in here, and the chick sent him back a picture of the basketball being stabbed and deflated, and she sent him back the deflated picture, and was like, next time be careful with it.
Wow, that's tough. I hadn't seen that. Post that in the relationship group.
Yeah, I will, man. That is probably the funniest meme I've seen in a long time.
God, that's vicious, tough. Chicks, they don't play anymore. Dudes been abusing the DMs, and they have responded a little bit now. Just to wrap things up, we're gonna end it on a positive note with the game balls. I want to give a game ball out to Donovan Mitchell because he's just been balling and shutting Shaq up, and I don't think a lot of people had this much confidence in him. And he just gets better every year. And it was a real cool clip where Dwayne Wade was on the sidelines, and now he's the part owner, or small minority owner of the Jazz. He was kind of instructing them, and their games are so similar. I also want to give a game ball out to Floyd Mayweather for the hoodwinking. I don't care if it was 1 million people. He's still fooling people and making these spectacles real. And I guess if I'm going to do one from the group, I would give it to Jay Johnson. Even though it's worthy of a fine, he's done some very artful trolling of Giannis, and he has embraced his inner petty and his inner Jay Holla in going against Giannis in the Bucks because he felt disrespected after his team got swept.
I'm gonna give a game ball out to Joel Embiid because I trust the process, and I'm excited that he's, putting people in their rightful places in the NBA. You're not letting these sorry teams feel like they got a chance. You're letting them know that there's a pecking order, and frankly, you're food. And I appreciate that. I'm giving out a deflated game ball to my boy Junior because, one, he violated the rules about posting about Luka, and then two, he thinks everybody would fit well with Luka, but the guy hogs the ball, Junior. His usage, just him with touches on his team, with touches. He was at like 101 touches per game, and nobody's nowhere near close to him. When you look at the playoffs, he's the highest touches, more touches than LeBron and everybody else. And I'm like, yo, who wants to play like that? Like, who wants to play with that? They had my man Porzingis with the same amount of touches as Boban.
That's all. That's really, and I'm not making excuses for Porzingis, but you can't just tell everybody staying at 3-point line and let me do my thing and expect success.
Like, yo, they're like, he don't play like he played when we got him from New York, because y'all don't use him anything like that. Yo, like, what the hell? He can't operate within a comfortable time frame. He gets the ball with like 6 seconds left on the shot clock and two people on him that Luka ran into him. So what the hell you want him to do?
It's tough. It is tough. So yeah, this was the first episode, everybody. So that was pretty good. I thought we'll keep going stuff, and it'll be based on the week and the events. We're trying to match up the things we say in the group with the things that happen in sports. We'll try to do this weekly. We got to do it every 2 weeks. That'll work too. But I just want to hit it up and say, give us 5 stars. The IB Network. Subscribe to that. Follow us on Twitter at OkanoBomb. And just invite people to the page. Also got the Patreon subscription. $5 a month, you become an all-star. $3 a month, you become a fan. You get to have automatic post approval. You get to mute people if you're an all-star. You got anything before we go, Alan?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think of a creative way to have some fun with a cultural iconic segment here, like versus. I don't think they've done a versus with white artists yet, so it is like an all black thing.
Hey,
but anyway,
we were on the verses before verses because we had our debate series.
So we want to, or I want to bring back the debate series a little bit with a little more swag to it. So I have come up with a concept that I'm going to work through this week, and then hopefully we can launch it in the next couple weeks, and I think people will enjoy. Secondly, if you are in the all-star groups, we had a good day today. We had a 5-1 soccer goal scorer prop, and then a 2-1 goal scorer prop as well. And I appreciate you guys being patient. The first round is difficult, but hopefully we can make some money. And that's another reason for people to join the All-Stars, is that you essentially can get your money back at a moment's notice. Yep.
And I got a good idea. We'll talk about offline, but I think the biggest matchup we can do for our debate series / versus / whatever we're going to call it when we're revamping it, Ashley versus Sam. Woke versus broke, baby. That is the one. That's the matchup to start it out with. We can get them both to agree. Ashley versus Sam would be interesting. You throw a little politics in there and get a little sports. Get some Giants versus Eagles. It's a good matchup. But anyway, folks, rate, subscribe, share, spread the word. Thank you for having a minute, fam.